Good morning, children. Last time we learned about ocean shorelines. There are many beautiful oceans in this world, like this. But don't forget the fact that many of them already polluted. Take a look at this picture. And this. Do you see that these oceans are beautiful? No. What is your feeling when you see these pictures? It's disgusting. Even 4 of Indonesia's rivers rank among 20 most polluted in the world. And Indonesia is the second largest contributor to marine plastic pollution after China. God asked humans to be good servants, right? How do you think? Is it proof that humans already be good servant? No. And include us. We contribute to make this world become worse. Let's see these videos to help us realize how this earth already polluted.
Our oceans sustain life. An abundant ocean can feed 1 billion people a healthy meal every day forever. But now they are being killed by throwaway plastics. The equivalent of 1 garbage truck of plastic is dumped in the sea every minute. 17.6 billion pounds every year. Plastic is everywhere in our ocean, floating on the surface, mixing in the salt water, and sitting on the ocean bottom, miles and miles deep. And once in the ocean, it never goes away. Over hundreds of years, it breaks down into small pieces. But those pieces, even the tiny ones called microplastics, are still plastic. Sea turtles are choking on it. Scientists say that over 60% of whale and dolphin species are affected by it. Zooplankton, the base of the ocean food chain, eat it. And so do we. It's in the water we drink. It's in our food. Microplastics have been found in our salt, our honey, and our beer. And sometimes even in the air we breathe. Companies are choosing to make something that will be used just once, from a material that lasts forever. If you don't like what throwaway plastics are already doing to our world, brace yourself. We face a tsunami of throwaway plastic in our and the ocean's future. 4 times more plastic will be produced between now and the middle of the century than has been produced in all of history. 4 times more. What can we do? Recycling? Of all the plastic ever generated as of 2015, only 9% was recycled. Even when it is recycled, plastic degrades. Your plastic soda bottle maybe becomes a shampoo bottle, then a floor mat. Even in the best case, it doesn't recycle, it downcycles. And then it becomes pollution that ruins our beaches and chokes sea animals forever. We should not be forced to pollute the ocean every time we eat, drink, or go shopping. We need to be given a choice, a plastic-free choice. This is not hard to imagine. Indeed, some responsible companies are already leading the way. There are throwaway plastic-free aisles in supermarkets. Beverage companies already offer plastic-free soda and salsa water. Restaurants offer plastic-free service. There are plastic-free rooms in hotels. An airline is now offering a plastic-free flight. And Oceana and our allies are winning plastic-free victories. Following campaigning by Oceana, Peru passed a law that keeps plastic out of national parks and beaches. Belize is getting rid of styrofoam. And the European Union has mandated reductions for throwaway plastic throughout its 28 member countries. But with your help, we can do more. Together, we can create a movement to reduce throwaway plastic. We can make sure we're all given real plastic-free choices. We can help our cities, towns, schools, and workplaces establish zones that are free of throwaway plastic. Let's stop plastic pollution from wrecking our beaches and our oceans, and have healthy oceans that delight and sustain us for generations to come. Please join our campaign. Go to oceana.org/plastics today.
This is the story of 3 plastic bottles, empty and discarded. Their journeys are about to diverge, with outcomes that impact nothing less than the fate of the planet. But they weren't always this way. To understand where these bottles end up, we must first explore their origins. The heroes of our story were conceived in this oil refinery. The plastic in their bodies was formed by chemically bonding oil and gas molecules together to make monomers. In turn, these monomers were bonded into long polymer chains to make plastic, in the form of millions of pellets. Those were melted at manufacturing plants and reformed in molds to create the resilient material that makes up the triplets' bodies. Machines filled the bottles with sweet, bubbly liquid, and they were then wrapped, shipped, bought, opened, consumed, and unceremoniously discarded. And now here they lie, poised at the edge of the unknown. Bottle 1, like hundreds of millions of tons of his plastic brethren, ends up in a landfill. This huge dump expands each day as more trash comes in and continues to take up space. As plastics sit there being compressed amongst layers of other junk, rainwater flows through the waste and absorbs the water-soluble compounds it contains, and some of those are highly toxic. Together, they create a harmful stew called leachate, which can move into groundwater, soil, and streams, poisoning ecosystems and harming wildlife. It can take bottle 1 an agonizing 1,000 years to decompose. Bottle 2's journey is stranger, but unfortunately no happier. He floats on a trickle that reaches a stream that flows into a river, and a river that reaches the ocean. After months lost at sea, he's slowly drawn into a massive vortex where trash accumulates, a place known as the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Here, the ocean's currents have trapped millions of pieces of plastic debris. This is one of 5 plastic-filled gyres in the world's seas, places where the pollutants turn the water into a cloudy plastic soup. Some animals, like seabirds, get entangled in the mess. They and others mistake the brightly colored plastic bits for food. Plastic makes them feel full when they're not, so they starve to death and pass the toxins from the plastic up the food chain. For example, it's eaten by lanternfish. The lanternfish are eaten by squid. The squid are eaten by tuna. And the tuna are eaten by us. And most plastics don't biodegrade, which means they're destined to break down into smaller and smaller pieces called microplastics, which might rotate in the sea eternally. But Bottle 3 is spared the cruel purgatories of his brothers. A truck brings him to a plant where he and his companions are squeezed flat and compressed into a block. Okay, this sounds pretty bad too, but hang in there. It gets better. The blocks are shredded into tiny pieces, which are washed and melted so they become the raw materials that can be used again. As if by magic, Bottle 3 is now ready to be reborn as something completely new. For this bit of plastic with such humble origins, suddenly, the sky is the limit.
The most common causes of water pollution are sewage and plastic. Every day we consume some things and throw some things to our environment. Do we think that every waste we made is safe and can be composed by this nature? The fact, it cannot. Every time we take a bath, drive a car or motorcycle, drink Coca-Cola or mineral water from bottle, we contribute to make this world more polluted. So, what should we do? We cannot stop our activities. We must take a bath. We need to eat. Our mom need to cook. Our parents must drive car or motorcycle to go to work and buy family needs. We need electricity to do many things. God asks us to be productive, but at the same time, to be wise. We cannot 100% separate it from contributing to pollution, but we can reduce our bad contribution. We can make this world better because this is our Father's world, so we must take care of it. Here are some things we can do. 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Take a look at this video to make you understand more.
Hello friends, I am the Earth. Yes, that's right, the very planet you live on. And today I woke up a bit sad. Do you know why? It's because I dreamt that there was even more water pollution. So much so that all living things that live in the sea, oceans and rivers had disappeared. Even though it was just a dream, I can assure you that if you don't stop contaminating the water bit by bit, this horrible dream will come true. The water's contamination worries me tremendously, especially when thinking that 3/4 of my surface is water. Even though I'm named the Earth, if you were to look at me from space, you would see more water than land, and that's why I'm also referred to as the Blue Planet. Everyone knows that the water is imperative for life. Without water, there would be no plants, nor animals, nor even us, human beings. Yet still, many people continue to throw rubbish bags, bottles, furniture into the ocean and rivers as if they were a container where one could get rid of all the things one doesn't want anymore. In many houses, liquids such as oils and dirty products are poured into the drains, and then these get mixed up with the water, and this contaminated water then travels through the pipes to the seas and rivers. There are also factories which throw their chemical wastes into the waters, making them extremely contaminated, killing loads of aquatic animals. Here you can see a seal eating a plastic bag, thinking it's food. We don't know if it'll survive. Or this poor frog lying dead because of contamination. Another of my surface water's enemies is petroleum. You have no idea the damage it has caused to my seas and oceans. The sinking of ships transporting this oil has caused tremendous catastrophes, which only heal with the passing of time. But I don't want to upset you with all that I have told you. As bad or complicated things may seem, there is always a solution. And I am positive that if you were to help me all together, working as a team, we will make the water clean again, and all living things will be safe. A way you can help is by collecting all your trash the day you go on an outing, and never ever throw it into the river or sea. Another way you can help is by not throwing any oils or other liquids into the drains, such as paint, for example. We can all encourage our families and friends to improve their habits and start to think about the importance of ending our water's contamination. Looking after water is taking care of life too. This is why you have a great responsibility. I need each and everybody's help to remain healthy. If you take care of the water, you will be taking care of me, my nature, as well as all living things. I have no doubt that together we can make sure my sad dream will never come true. For as you know, children can make a world of difference. Ah. Aha. Ah. Oh.
Good job, Moby. We're doing our part to care for the environment. What is waste? Waste is anything you throw out and can't reuse. One person can throw away over 1,000 pounds of trash a year. Together, we make tons of waste. A lot of trash winds up in our landfills. Some waste is biodegradable, which means it breaks down in our environment naturally. A lot of waste is not biodegradable. It can cause a lot of problems and harm the soil, water, and air. But there's a lot we can do to help our environment. How can we reduce waste? When you reduce, you cut down or make something smaller. We can reduce by using less stuff and using only what we need. You can reduce how much water you use by turning the faucet off when you're not using it. A natural resource is something of value we get from the environment. Water, plants, animals, and soil are all natural resources. It's important to conserve or save our natural resources. Since natural resources power many of our homes and cars, we should reduce the amount of energy we use. We can turn off the lights when we don't need them. We can reduce the energy we use to cool our homes, and we can save energy by turning down the heater a little. We can also reduce waste by reusing items. How do we reuse? When you reuse something, you use it again and again. Items that you only use once are disposable and cause a lot of waste. It's much better to use items that you can use over and over again. Plastic bags can take hundreds of years to break down. We can use reusable bags instead. Instead of throwing away broken toys, you can fix them. You can also give away toys, books, furniture, and clothing you don't want anymore. Then they can be reused by other people. How do we recycle? When you recycle, you use materials from old items to make new items. You can recycle things like plastic bottles, cans, glass, paper, and even batteries. Aluminum cans and bottles can be recycled to make new cans and bottles. Steel can be recycled and used to make steel for buildings. Parts from old electronic equipment can be used to make new electronic equipment. The plastic from plastic bottles can be turned into rugs, shoes, clothing, and even playground equipment. Recycling saves energy and natural resources. When you recycle paper, you save trees from being cut down. It's important to care for our environment. We only have one planet, and it's up to all of us to take care of it. I think you can take that uniform off now, Moby.
Okay, let's try hard to be a good servant to manage our Father's world. In this pandemic situation, we also can be a good servant by staying at home and keeping clean. Of course, while doing other good things we learned today. Okay, thank you for your attention, children. I hope this lesson is useful for you. See you on the next lesson.